Pardon the interruption, but I'm Mike Wilbon. It's Friday the 13th, Tony. Anything freaky happened to you today?
I'm Tony Kornheiser now. I haven't gotten freaky in years. I got a bad hip.
They got stuff for that. It's called replacement.
Is that right? Hip replacement?
Hip replacement.
That's not a hard one. You walk out. It's not going to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, Ole Miss gets its quarterback for another season. The NBA cracks down on the Jazz, and Jay Billis joins us for 5 good minutes. But we begin today with the Winter Olympics. In a stunner, Ilya Malinin, the quad god, fell twice and fell short of the podium in the men's figure skating final. In other events, the USA women upset Canada in curling. Norwegian cross-country skier Johannes Klæbo won his record-tying 8th gold, and the International Skating Union stood by the French ice dancing judge that Americans Madison Chock and Evan Bates felt favored the French pair that won the gold. Wilbon, which of these intrigues you the most?
French ice dancing judge conjures up everything I think is wrong with figure skating anyway. Like you sort of kidnapped me and made me watch the quad god.
Worth it.
You know, it was, except, Tony, I don't root against anybody ever in the Olympics. It's too emotional. It takes too much of one's life, not to mention your own, but your parents and your family members and your teachers and your coaches. It's so emotional, and you're scared to see a kid fall. I know he's 21 years old. Looks like he's 17. Looks like he could live in one of the bedrooms in my house. Yeah. He's a kid. And so when he went down, and then he falls the second time with an easier jump, and you just go, okay, now I can't watch anymore.
Did you watch it standing up or sitting down?
Sitting.
I had to walk around to watch it. I was very nervous because what I like most about this kid is he embraces the notion of being called quad god. And he wants to show it. Yeah, and he wants to show it. And in the team competition, he totally showed it, and he brought the Americans into the gold situation. He's out there knowing that his main rival from Japan has fallen, and he is in silver position. So if he's upright, he wins the thing, and he falls twice. And your heart goes out to him because you don't expect that to happen at all. And you watch, what did he finish, 6th?
He finished off the podium.
Something like that.
You know, remember, I'm going to go back a ways, years and years and years. You might have been there writing about this for the Washington Post. When Debbie Thomas fell.
Yeah, I remember that. I wasn't writing, but I remember.
Okay, I remember just thinking, I'm done. I'm not watching any more of this. There's too much of an emotional investment, even as a spectator at the Olympics, when something that delicate.
If he stands upright, he's going to win. But he went out. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. And I was rooting for him, and I feel terrible.
You know who's going to stand upright? Just a quick transition. The hockey players are going to stand upright. All right, Canada over Sweden. Canada over Switzerland. Finland beat Sweden, and Finland needed to win to sort of climb back into play. Slovakia is 2-0 and ahead of Finland and Sweden in the standings.
So you don't want to talk about the French judge who replaces the fragile French judge?
You made fun of me for this for years. I attacked the French judge going back to the 90s. This is awful.
Well, you know what?
What?
I mean, there were reports about how this particular French judge wanted the French team to win so much, and it was a pattern of behavior in other competitions. And she would downgrade the Americans to make that happen.
Am I exonerated now?
But I remember, Mike, when the highest score and the lowest score were tossed. And that would make this not viable. Not viable at all, what she did.
2002, the last country? I was there for that. That was Salt Lake City. I'm exonerated. Declaring it myself. Let's turn to college football, where Ole Miss just picked up his first win of the season in court. Quarterback Trinidad Chambliss, last season's SEC passing leader, was granted an injunction by a Mississippi State judge that allows him to play a 6th season this coming fall. Tony, what does this mean for Chambliss? What does it mean for Ole Miss?
Wait, a 6th year?
Yeah.
You get a 6th year, and if I understand correctly, the judge who ordered the injunction is from Oxford, which is the home of the University of Mississippi, and he went to Ole Miss Law School, and that sort of seems unfair, like the French judge doing what she did.
Well, supposedly he's gone to Mississippi State, then what?
Okay, but he didn't.
Okay,
but he didn't. Don't be exonerated and get carried away. All right, here we go. This is clearly good for Ole Miss, no matter who the coach ends up being, Because they get back the quarterback that led them to the finals of the college football
and
playoffs.
made himself a star.
Right. And it is good for the kid because I understand he's getting $5 million in NIL.
Not getting that in the NFL. Not this year.
And he's getting another prep year for the NFL,
Great point.
which is a good thing to do. And to be fair, if I understand this correctly, Chambliss has played games in 3 seasons. So to me, if you get what is in essence a 4th season, that's within the parameters to me. But do you know about the Montana kid?
Yeah. Is he the 8 or the 9-year kid?
No, 9.
There's an 8 and there's a 9.
He's a linebacker.
Yeah.
He's getting a 2nd year at Montana after he had 7 at USC. He's going to be 26 years old this month. You know who he was with in the recruiting class when he was in high school? Micah Parsons. And now he's still in college.
Parsons is going to be in the Hall of Fame,
He's still
and
in,
this kid is going to be just coming out of college.
It's amazing. He is a professional college football player. When he fills out a form and they say occupation, it's professional college football player.
I'm conflicted here because the reasons you point out are reasons to sort of make fun of this whole thing. But I feel guilty making fun of people, anybody, for going to school. I don't want to do it.
He doesn't actually go to school.
You don't know that. There are kids who come out now, and I know this because I'm a trustee at a university where kids may spend a 5th year. I don't think we had a 6th year, and they come out with graduate degrees.
Okay, how about a 9th year? How about a 9th year?
Well, it
seems like a
multiple
lot,
degrees. How many degrees could you and I have in 9 years? But
this is the softest Wilbon I have ever encountered.
But
you have been changed by the Olympics and by college athletes.
Yeah, I feel bad watching those people fall on the ground.
Yeah.
Ice, that's why I don't go to the skating, and you know this, and yet you kidnapped me and made me watch.
Because
you made me watch this.
Look, it's a terrible ending. That kid was worth it. He was worth it. He does something that nobody has ever done. The quad axle, is that what it is?
Now,
nobody's ever done it,
now
and he does it.
Do it.
Well, he didn't do it this time. You know what? Drake May had a great year and a bad ending.
Yep.
Let's go to the NBA. Not speaking of Drake May, because he's not in the NBA. Last night, the league fined the Utah Jazz $500,000 and the Indiana Pacers $100,000 for the crime of sitting healthy players during games. Adam Silver said, quote, overt behavior like this that prioritizes draft positions over winning undermines the foundation of NBA competition, and we will respond accordingly, unquote. These fines grow from Utah sitting their starters in multiple 4th quarters and from Indiana not playing players who the league has deemed could have played under the NBA's medical policy. Wilbon, do you think fines like this will be an effective deterrent to tanking?
No, I'm really going to annoy you. I'm going to go to a place you can't imagine I'm going.
Go ahead.
I don't give a damn about tanking. You know what I care about? Load management. Because you know what? Only 2 or 3 teams are tanking. Let's say you say 5.
I would say 6 or 8.
6 or 8. How many load manage?
10 to 12 to 14.
No, 30.
You think so? Okay.
All 30 at some point. Golden State has said to Steph Curry, no, you're not playing because we got 3 games in the next 5. No. So you have a league.
You think that's a worse crime?
It's a much larger crime to spend money in all summer. People spend money to get tickets to go to certain games. They want to see these guys, and they can't see them. All 30. Load management.
It's the same with
and
tanking.
they're not going to do jack about load management.
So let me get to this. These fines are a joke. Adam Silver is laughing when he announces these fines. What is $500,000 to a team like Utah with a payroll of $154 million? They sat their 3 most highly paid players, sat them in 4th quarters.
Yep.
Those players make $100 million. $500,000, you can find it in a couch in the NBA.
Okay.
And a $100,000 fine is even more ridiculous. You want to have a deterrent with a fine? Start at $10 million.
Okay.
And even then, if the guy at the end of the rainbow is Wembanyama, somebody's going to pay the $10 million.
Yes,
they are.
It's worth more than $10 million.
Mike, I would not fine anyone. I would take away the draft pick. I would say after the lottery, you go down 10 spots and see how that pick
lawsuits
tastes.
galore. But why is it more important to identify those 3 to 6 teams as opposed to all 30 who load manage, who take people for the whole game, not at least if I paid the damn money and the kid played for 3 quarters, I get to watch the star play for 3 quarters.
I will answer this.
All right.
Because load management does not affect all the games on the schedule. It affects them randomly. If you're trying to lose, like the local NBA team, the Washington Wizards, are trying to lose, it affects, and you're selling season tickets, Really? To a team that is trying to lose. Here's their record in the last 3 years, 47 and 170. The coach, the general manager, the director of basketball operations should be fired, and none were fired because the owner is tacitly saying or actively saying we're tank.
All I'm saying is that affects far fewer teams and therefore the product of the league than all 30 sitting somebody some nights.
Let's take a break. When we come back, as Kansas gets set to face fifth-ranked Iowa State, what should we expect from Darren Peterson? We're going to ask Jay Billis.
We'll also ask him where he slots Arizona among the best teams in college hoops.
I'm so proud of you that you watched the skating.
I watched that.
And that's good for you.
40 players in the NBA in 1985 played all 82. How many do you think last year?
2.
11.
It's basketball season, which apparently is already in progress. We welcome in our great friend, the dashing ESPN basketball analyst, Jay Billis, and we start with this. You're at #1 Arizona for tomorrow's game with number 16 Texas Tech. Arizona just lost for the first time this season. Where do you have the Wildcats among the top 3 or 4 teams in the country?
I have Arizona right with Michigan as the best team. And I don't think there's a lot of separation between those two, but I think there is a little bit of separation between Michigan, Arizona, and everybody else. That's not to say they can't be beaten. Heck, if Kansas could play every game at Allen Fieldhouse, if the NCAA tournament were played at Allen Fieldhouse, Kansas would win the national championship, but they don't get to play all their games there. But Arizona and Michigan are the 2 biggest teams. They're the 2 best paint scoring teams. They're the 2 best paint protecting teams. Michigan probably shoots more threes. They definitely shoot more and make more threes than Arizona does. But Arizona's legit. They just have 3 guys in their starting lineup that are freshmen. Now, they're outstanding freshmen. 2 of their top scorers are freshmen. And that's one difference between them and Michigan. Michigan's more experienced throughout their roster.
Jay referenced Kansas. Kansas, of course, beat Arizona Monday. And they did it without star freshman Darren Peterson. He's missed quite a few games, injury, illness. Bill Self calls it a string of bad luck. But how do you see the whole Peterson situation?
You know, Michael, it's a little bit of a curious case. You don't see this very often. Peterson did a few games with a hamstring and then with cramping. And then the last game that they played against Arizona, he had the flu. And the doctors told him better that you don't play and better than you don't sit on the bench and infect everybody else on the team with the flu or flu-like symptoms, whatever they called it. Darren Peterson is legit. Like, he's the real deal. Anybody who's seen him play knows that. He's the most effortless scorer. I mean, I think he scores it easier than any player I've seen since Kevin Durant played at Texas. But he hasn't been available. And I think he doesn't talk much. It's not that he doesn't talk at all, but he doesn't talk much. And as a result, I think a lot of people are talking for him and making judgments as to why he's playing, why he's not. I personally don't do that. I tend to trust doctors when they say don't play. And if he's hurt, he's hurt. But there's no argument when he plays, there's no one more talented, especially on the offensive end. And I think he's the front runner to be the #1 pick in the NBA draft, but it's going to be a close call.
Yesterday, we learned that Caleb Wilson suffered a broken hand and is going to be out. I think the word indefinitely has been used. I mean, this is a huge blow, obviously, to the Tar Heels. Speaking of top of NBA draft, even though he's only a freshman. It is not yet March, Jay. What do you expect as we sort of navigate this ground between now and then?
It's going to be difficult for North Carolina without Caleb Wilson. He's their leading scorer, leading rebounder. I mean, he's had more 20-point games than any freshman they've had in program history to this point in the season. So without him, it's not like any other player, whether it's Henry Vessar or Seth Trimble or you name it, has to put a cape on and all of a sudden become Superman to try to replace him. That's not how that's going to work. But I think everybody has to expand their roles a little bit, and it's got to be a collective thing. It's not necessarily a next man up. It's every man has to do more. Just because Caleb Wilson's not going to be in the lineup doesn't mean Carolina can't win. They can still win. They're going to have to do it a little bit differently. It's certainly a blow. You'd rather have one of the 5 best players in college basketball, which I think Caleb Wilson is, in your lineup. But they lost Seth Trimble earlier in the year. He's back. It's something that they can deal with. I don't know that they're necessarily going to be as good, but they can still win. And if he's able to come back, I think the hope is he comes back to a better, more confident team where guys are capable. You know, look in the NBA. Who thought the Boston Celtics were going to do this without Jason Tatum?
Good point.
And it's the same kind of dynamic.
We will get you out of here on this. A judge this week denied Charles Bediako an injunction that would have let him continue playing at Alabama. You are a lawyer. Where do you think we will end up on players putting their pro pursuits on hold to return to college?
I think, Tony, we've got an issue where the NCAA doesn't have eligibility rules that are based on any principle. There's no age limit in college sports. I'm not saying there should be, but people are complaining about that. And we have similarly situated players that are treated differently. You have international players that never matriculated to college but played pro basketball and made a lot of money, and they're eligible. And you've got players that international in nature, didn't go to college, went through the draft, and the NCAA deems them eligible. I don't see a major difference between Charles Bediako and those. The court said he was eligible. They're not playing him when the court ruled that he's not. But in my view, if the NCAA wants to make this about players of a certain age, then say that college sports is for undergraduate students only, and you have a 6-year window after your high school class graduates. Problem solved. At least that would be based on some kind of principle. But there's so many exceptions out there, and the NCAA is making those exceptions, that to single out Charles Bediako of Alabama.
I hope you're with us a lot more this year. Thank you.
See you soon.
Thank you.
Get more of Jay on College Game Day starting at 10 a.m. Eastern. We will take one last break, but still to come. Could the college football playoff jump straight to 24? 24 teams?
No.
24?
And a few thoughts on my man Chris Paul and his decision to call it.
24?
Come on.
16 I can live with.
Speaking of
24?
who needs a commissioner more, college basketball or college football?
I think college football.